Hello and welcome to this new video in the advanced playlist techniques. In the previous video, I showed you how to do relational data with Appli. We created this little app that, not really an app, it's just like a layout to show you how to link data from different tables. Basically, we have a list of book quotes. You can select, let me just go into play mode. You can select a book and see the quotes from the book. And it works with two tables, a books table and a quote table. And if I show you here, and the quote table has a book ID key that will have the unique ID for a book. For example, if we check the data here and we go to books, we have two books here. For example, The Hobbit starts with 12C. And if we go back to quote, we can see that this top here, they're all like 12C. They are all quotes from The Hobbit. So that was the topic of the previous video. What I want to talk today is actually about custom events. But before we get to custom events, we need to backtrack a bit so that we have the correct context to when to use custom events. So what I have here right now is on the quotes screen, I added a form to add new quotes to a book. The problem is that when you go into this layout and all the code is here on the open screen event, we reset the layout. Sorry for this noise. I just knocked off my water bottle. But we reset the layout, then we query the records for the matching book ID for the selected book. That variable was filled in the previous screen. Then we display those quotes into the layout. Forget about line 4. So if we have a form that's gonna save a quote, and quotes require a book ID and a text, and if you remember from this screen here, we just have the text, where's the book ID coming from? Basically, there is an invisible text field here with the book ID, and this is all set up using no code so that you have the bindings like normal database stuff. We just hide the book ID because that is filled when the screen opens. It puts the selected book into the book ID. That's how we can just type a quote here and save it. So let's do this. We have here the books, and let's say a test quote. And we saved it. But you may have noticed that it didn't appear on the layout because this is not automatic. See, this layout is populated on open screen, and we press save here. The screen is already open, so there's no update. So one way to solve this problem is to come here and pick this items here. We don't need to reset the layout because resetting the layout would clean and make it empty, which would make the layout flash, like between filled, then empty, then filled again. And we don't want that. So we can just copy those, go to the save button and paste them there. And let's try again. So basically, when I go now, we will see that test quote because it will have an open screen again. So we see it here. But now, if we add a new one, you can see that it was updated. So let me just, for the sake of maintenance here, delete those test quotes. So what happened now is that we have duplicated code. We have it here, like these 3 lines that update, that calculate and update the layout. And we also have the same stuff down here. And to be honest, that's okay. Most of the Appli apps are doing things like that with some degree of, let's say, code duplication. Let me show you another way of doing this. So let's delete this. Another way of doing this is basically by triggering the open screen event again. A way to do that is to move to another screen and then go back, but that's not what we're going to do. We're going to use a dispatch low code action. So we can go here, dispatch event, and the event we're going to dispatch is open screen. And we're going to send to this screen. And that's it. So basically, this low code will run, and when it reaches this, it will dispatch that event. So it will trigger the open screen event again for this screen. So we can go like, and it works. So, but that is kind of hard to understand, right? Because sometime from now, you or a different developer is looking at this code and you go like, why is this dispatching the open screen? Why? Like this is a form, a save button. Why it's trying to open the screen again? And then after they go to the open screen event and they realize that it calculates the layout, they might go here and add a comment and go like, this updates the layout with the new quote. And just move those around. And this might be how it's done. Like they might save it. And that was just adding a comment. So for the next person, or years from now, or weeks from now, when you come back here, you see, oh, there's a dispatch event here, but there's this comment like, oh, this update the layout. So now you understand, you don't need to go there and see what's going on. But again, if this code is cryptic, that it needs a comment, maybe we can do better. There's nothing wrong about comments, nothing wrong at all, but there's also another way of doing this. So let's do it. So let's remove that. Let's go back here. Let's pick what we need. Let's go copy. And what we're going to do is that we are going to create a new custom event in the quotes screen. To do that, we are going to select custom. And if you check the events, they always have like a verb and an object, like open screen or like open app or mouse click. We're going to follow that. And we're going to create a, like, I don't know, add quote. So we are having here, and when add quote, and this could have a different name, you know, like, to be honest, can I rename this here? Nope, I can't. But let me add a better name. I didn't like that name, to be honest, because that feels like the event is adding a quote, but the event is happening after the quote was added. So let's call it quote added. See, I think we can still do better because it's not technically about the quote. See, if we start thinking what's actually happening is that the UI, the user interface, needs a refresh. So we can call it user interface refresh needed. Because it's not really about the quote, right? It's about the information in the database and the information in the screen being out of sync. This could be about quote, but it can be about more things as this kind of app grows. But the need to update the screen because something changed underneath it in the database is kind of real. So let's just call it user interface refresh needed. And let's paste our events. And now we don't actually need them here. We can delete them. And now we create a dispatch here. So the event we're going to dispatch is custom. So that's like, hey, we're calling a custom event on a target. The target is this screen. And here I need to fill this last parameter, which is the custom event itself, which is user interface refresh needed. I'm gonna copy this to make it easier. And actually, you can copy the whole thing. That's easier. If I can just like copy the action, and then on the save button, we can do the same thing. So now our user interface refresh is just on a single place, and all the moments where it's needed, we just dispatch to it. So let's see if it works. See, the fact that it loaded the layout shows that it's working because it was called during open screen. Open screen dispatched that event. And let's do something here. And it appeared. So that's how you do custom events. You can create them and they become like it much easier to reason about your app and what's going on. Like, hey, we're resetting a layout and there's a need to refresh the interface. We created this event and it's specific to our app. So it can match things that are unique to your app. For example, suppose that you're doing like a support ticketing system. You can create an event like new support ticket added that does that logic. And then on the various parts of your app that add a new support ticket, they just dispatch to that event. So this is how you create and use custom events. If you need any more help about it, reach out to us in our forums or just like mention us on social media throughout our accounts or comment on this video, and I'm sure that one of us will get back to you. Keep looking at this playlist for more advanced techniques for Appli development. I hope you like this one. Talk to you soon.